Okay, guys, thanks once again for joining our tiny class for Module 2 and our mini facilitations. My name is Ryan, and Josh, thanks once again for coming. This presentation is based around, if you'll look at the board up there, how to flip your classroom. A quick introduction to 3 common tools for successful e-learning. And it's simple as that. So we're going to go through a very brief, discussionable, mentionable overview of some of the big heavy hitters in e-learning in terms of online activities that foster and facilitate and essentially make your classrooms a little more dynamic. So I want to start off by asking you this question. So take a look at the question and let me know what that brings to mind and what you think flipping the classroom means.
The first thing that comes to mind, obviously, John, is actually putting the classroom somehow define gravity, like the line over which you can't.
Yes. Insert awesome image of upside down floating house. Had I had more time,
That's the first thing that comes. But I guess like putting it back on the students to do the bulk of the discovering or learning or self-guiding.
Okay, putting back. Okay, I like it. Josh, anything you want to add to this working definition?
That sounds good.
Okay, here's a mediocre definition that I found on the web. So take a moment and skim over that and see if it makes sense to you.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Now you notice what's missing from this is any mandate about technology or the internet or computers. And it's actually what makes this definition pretty great. It's pretty bare bones. We don't have to use computers to flip the classroom on its head, but what we do is we take the content out of that designated, specific, synchronized time and place of the brick and mortar class, and when you use that new time and place, or we use that time and place in a new way. So we can utilize the computer in order to get content to the students so they can learn on their own, at their own pace, and then we bring it together and we apply what we've learned together. Where we used to sit and listen to lectures and then go home and do the work, now we're flipping that. And there's so many different ways to think about it. And here are the big 3 heavy hitters in terms of how you can use it. The first is a discussion board. So what's a discussion? Anybody?
It's a place where people talk online.
That's my understanding of it. And so here's a run-of-the-mill definition. There are many that you'll find online.
Well, I've used discussion boards in the past, and I'm really trying to figure out how I would do like a subscribe to a discussion board. So I know I can do it. I just don't know how to go about doing that.
Well, the great news, Josh, is at the end of this presentation, you're going to have some resources and tools that are going to point you to quick, easy access, almost like the Cliff Notes, to how to get these big 3 up and running. So here's discussion board number 1 that we talked about, and you both mentioned, it's essentially an online tool where people can have conversations, but look at that 5th word, asynchronous. That's key. It means that we don't have to be at the same place at the same time. This discussion can take place over a week, and it's a place where people come together and share ideas, but these ideas can also be referenced and built, and you can always revisit the discussion and add to it. And it's a great tool for facilitators such as yourself. Number 2 is a wiki. What's a wiki? Wikipedic?
Sounds like something you do at a tiki lounge.
Exactly. Well, actually, here's the definition I scrounged together. And wait a second, what's going on here? Oh no! Oh man! My PowerPoint is broken. That's okay. This is actually a really great thing. To your right, on the chairs that are next to you, you'll find a PowerPoint printout of the lecture. So just go ahead and grab that, and you'll notice that we are on the 5th or 6th page. What's a wiki? And then wiki defined. And so while you're finding it, I'll just bring up wikis, kind of the new way that we talk about. Well, let's see. I think Wikipedia, when I see it, there we go. The most well-known example is Wikipedia. Oh, okay, right at the top. I think that's key. That's the most important thing. It's a collaborative website, or it's a collaborative place in e-learning, so website makes sense, where people collaborate and organize their own content. And so that's a really great way for students in the online learning environment to come together, share ideas, organize their ideas, and build on some of the information that you cover in classes, and they can do this outside of the classroom.
So how's the difference from like a discussion board?
The difference in a discussion board and a wiki, and that's an excellent question, is that in a wiki, everyone has within, and the finer points and the ways that wikis can be different, we can get into at a later date. In general, though, a wiki is, think of it as a canvas where every student can participate and add to within the frame. Whereas a discussion board, each student has their own series of frameworks, their own little conversation bubbles.
Oh.
This is what I said, this is what I think. Whereas in a
Like
wiki,
an open sandbox.
you collaborate together like an open sandbox. Fantastic. And let's flip the page. This is our last one. This is kind of a newer one. It's called a Hangout. Now, I had a Hangout growing up. Do anybody have a Hangout, like a tree fort in the woods?
Smoke weed and buy.
Yep. I'm smoking weed right now. So yeah, Hangout, I think of Google, but well, Google is the most prominent because they're providing the service for free. If you flip the next page, you'll see a good definition of a Hangout. Essentially, given that people have access to technology, this is a great way to utilize it. So think of all those built-in video cameras on laptops that students can use in the, at home, or they can check out from our library, go to the computer lab. If well organized, it enables students to hang together spontaneously, in groups, in real time, with video, and it's becoming increasingly utilized in all sorts of innovative ways. And as promised, if you flip the last line, there's a list of resources that I want you guys to take with you. And if you get a chance, you can delve deeper into some of these three that we covered today and how to apply them. And then also find out some more tools that you can
So
use.
how do I integrate my Google Hangout into Blackboard?
That's one of the wonderful things that unfortunately we don't have time to discuss here, but you'll find on the last page, on the very last link, that is my launching pad for you guys. I will always make myself available, so you'll see my email there as well. Feel free to email me with questions or concerns, and I'll get you pointed in the right direction. We got a couple more speakers lined up, and we've got lots of work to do. So I know it's brief, but have a great day, and thanks you guys for coming out.